Okay, so part 3. What we have here is we have our camera and our dinosaur in the same scene, where our camera moves according to this, where the camera was what was doing in when we actually shot the footage. So if you're joining me, if you're joining me over from part 1, then you're probably wondering how the hell I got this image in the background. Now that's an easy thing to clarify. Just press N, go over here, turn on background image, add image, movie clip, and open your movie clip that you want to put your dinosaur in, or 3D object, whatever. So hopefully that's that clarified. But as we can see here, our camera moves, but that dinosaur doesn't quite follow it as we'd like. So that's an easy fix. Sorry, just get rid of this quickly. I want to get rid of that as well. Save on memory. So, what we want to do is we want to position our camera in according to where we want our dinosaur in our scene. So I'm going to move him forward. And I'm going to move him up a little bit. And that looks good to me. So as we can see now, he really doesn't move as well as we'd like him to. But that's okay. That's all fine. All we need to do is go to top view. And as we can see, we have a load of what we call empties here. Now this is fine because if we go to movie clip editor, if we select one of these, it selects a tracking marker. So if I go to split view here, just drag this across and we have our split view. So if T to get rid of this and N to get rid of this on any panel, whether it's your node editor or UVM editor, so anything like that, just T and N and it brings up those two. It's a quick, nice little shortcut for you. So as you can see here, we select these, it selects the tracking marker. So what we want to do now is just simply scale all of these tracking markers so that they go with our dinosaur. And that's it. Oops, close that. And that's it. That's how we fix that problem. So now our dinosaur should move along with the scene like it should. As we can see, he rotates a little bit. That's an easy fix. All we need to do is take the top view. Take the camera and try and line up these dots with the dinosaur as best we can. So if I view it like that. Nope, that's too much for me, for my liking. Like I said in part 2, sorry if you hear any screaming. That's just my sister in the pool being like she is. Here's an improvement. Not quite how I'd like, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm gonna move on. So, he now fits in with our scene. Yay! The reason why I got rid of everything else is because I don't need it at this particular moment in time, because as we can see here, we don't see his feet. Now, if you do want to see his feet interact with the floor, then we would want to go to another layer, add a plane. Sorry, my caps lock is on for some reason. Scale that up a little bit. Turn on Raptor Layer as well. Put this plane down by his feet and set up the compositing to show the shadows. Now I will do a 2-part compositing because of something like this. Because at the moment I can't can't see his feet, and I don't need to see his feet with the shadows and everything, so I will skip this step for now. But if you do have it, then stick with me to the very end and I will show you how to do that. It's going to take quite a bit longer than to composite this, but it'll be worth it in the end. So, now that we have our dinosaur in our scene, with the camera and everything else, we want to animate him. So, I'm going to turn off this background image a second, because that's going to distract me one way or another. We want to grab our rig and start animating him. Now I'm just going to reset his stature at the moment. Whoa, okay. So what I want him to do at the moment is, I just want him to stand there, just act natural-ish, as natural as a CG animated character can do. Now I'm going to clarify here, I am no animator, so I apologise if this doesn't look as good as it can do if somebody else had this rig. So, oh, no, there we go. Now I have this set up, I want to animate this rig to move along with our scene. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on this, which is the automatic keyframe thing. So it means if I move the rig, then it will move according with the scene. Well, oops, what have I done there? Oh, sorry. Okay, so it will move where I want it to, but I don't want to move it like that. What I want to do is to very subtly move this up, move along about 30 frames, move back down, move this back up again. So I'm hitting R to rotate because I can't turn on the thing to show you what I'm pressing because I can't find it. So I want to move 30 frames again. So now I have this, which looks really, really bad. So let's improve that a little bit, shall we? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and keep the head level, as level as it can be. Now for those of you that missed the part 2 explanation, I have already done this, but I didn't do it as well. Hopefully I didn't do it as well as I'm about to do now, because I had a very, very, very bad computer instead of this laptop that I was working with. See his head moves now. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here. This initially was for a college project. Our brief was to make a advert for the college, raising some awareness of some issues that students might have with college. So mine was, my idea was to show that, well, is the college right for me? And I thought, well, how can I do that? Easy, put a dinosaur in the college, like you do. So that was how I came up with the idea. And because I've only just started this, I had some confidence in what I was doing. So now this, is what we like to call an IK chain. Now it's just a fancy name for being able to do this pretty much. So each one of these bones is on a chain. Each thing starts on this chain, so we can change that one or that one, or no, don't change the mesh. We change that one. So all I can do is press G to move and move it up and down, which is nice for a rig. So I'm gonna probably 50 frames between each of these. So now when you're animating something like this, any creature, like the experts claim, it's always good to look for reference in nature or something like that. At the moment, I'm going off of my good old-fashioned Jurassic Park VHSs. Yes, a VHS is a videotape for those of you that have no idea what I'm on about. So, at the moment, I have... So that looks natural enough, kind of. So now what I want to do with the head movement is to... I want to go to about 15, rotate it a little bit, and bring it down, bring it up, and then so if I rotate up a bit, you'll see why I'm doing this in a minute. Rotate up a bit, and that's it. So now I'm going to bring it back up. Let's bring his head up. I want to rotate a little bit down. Again. So now I should have so now when you're doing something like this, it could be easy just to go over here to the animation panel and see all these lovely keyframes that we've just made. It can be easier just to copy these keyframes and paste them over, but I don't like doing that when I'm doing something like this, because it, like all the experts claim, nature doesn't do everything perfectly, which it doesn't. It's just part of life, I guess. All that philosophical stuffs. So I want to grab these arms quickly. Actually, while I'm on the subject of alternative tutorials, for those of you that just came in from part 2, I will go into another way of tracking, but it does require you to download the different software. Now, which one is better? It all depends on your shot, pretty much. There's no pointing fingers at... If you have a shot like this, then Blender works just fine. But if you have a bit more of a complicated shot, then the other software is good as well. But I'm not doing that, I'm doing animation. It's supposed to be. So I'm going to grab these bones in the hands quickly. Oh, nope. Oh, right view, imbecile. So I'm going to rotate those a little bit. There we go. So I now have a fairly natural looking animal here. So turn background image back on again, and we now have this. That looks good for me. Good to me. Right, so this was part 3 animation. You want to join me on to part 4, we will then get into lighting. And then part 5 compositing. And part 6 advanced compositing.